Good morning, friends. Welcome to Take Two for this Tuesday, the 19th of March, 2019. I'm Jeannie. I'm so glad that I could be with you this morning. Yesterday, Michael and I, he had been digging in the garden for several hours, and he needed to buy a little tool at Lowe's, so I was available. It was later in the afternoon. I said, you know what, I'll go with you. Let me just tag along. So I went with him to Lowe's, and we were in the patio section, and we were looking for this particular tool, and it turns out that the one thing he was looking for wasn't adequate of what they had in stock, so we ended up not buying it. But I said, well, as long as we're here in the patio section by the flowers, it was really pretty, everything was blooming and all that. I said, let's go over to the clearance rack and see if there's any clearance flowers, because my husband has such a green thumb that he could take a dead stick and put it in the ground and it'll bloom, because he's just so good at gardening. So we went over and we looked at some flowers, and we found a few little treasures for $1, $2. So we said, let's grab a couple of these little flowers and go. So we went to the checkout, and the patio area at Lowe's has its own checkout, and there's 2 cash registers, but there was only one open, and there was a lady by herself at the cash register. Sweet, polite woman, and she's standing there, and she's going to check somebody out, but the man who was waiting to be checked out, there was some sort of glitch that he needed something, and it had a serial number, and it didn't match up, or for whatever reason, she was stuck there trying to wait on him while we were queuing up behind him. So she apologized, and she said, I am so sorry. She said, this shouldn't take but a minute. And so she said, I would normally go ahead and open the other register, but the terminal is down. So if you don't mind, if you could just wait, it'll just be another minute. She must have apologized a dozen times. And I kept saying, it's okay, we're fine, we're not in any gigantic rush. I'm really sorry this is taking longer than I expected. And she just kept apologizing, and the man kind of felt awkward because they were in the middle, they were like on hold on the phone with somebody getting the serial number. It wasn't something where they could have just stopped and gone, pushed other people ahead. So I said, it's okay, it's fine. So then behind us, a couple more people started queuing up behind us, and before you know it, there were 3 or 4 people. Well, she just, the gal at the register just repeatedly was apologizing, and I said, look, it's okay, we're fine, we'll wait another minute or 2, it's not a problem. But the man behind me, now he started to fume. Now, I promise you, he couldn't have been waiting more than 60 seconds, maybe a minute and a half. And he's already fuming. So I said to the checkout lady, I said, is it okay for us to take merchandise from in here and ring it up inside the store? She said, well, yes, but I shouldn't be. I said, no, it's okay, because we will, because we're just parked there anyway. She said, you can, and again, I'm so sorry. I said, really, it's okay. So we went ahead and we turned around and started going towards the ordinary checkout in-store checkouts. And the fuming man behind me also started walking towards. Now, there was a whole bank of those open with hardly any customers, so it was no big deal. So I got to mine, and I could hear the man with his one item fuming and complaining while walking to the registers. And I thought, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What are you so upset about? So I hear him while he wasn't talking to anybody on the phone or anything. He was just complaining to himself, young man with one box. So we get to the checkouts, and I go on one line with Michael, and we ring up our little $2 flowers, and he goes to the next one and rings up his. So we're all kind of leaving the store at the same time. And I notice as we're walking out of the store that his car was parked right at that exit. So either way, whether he had checked out at the patio or whether he had checked out on the inside registers, either way, he would have had to make that walk, one side of the doors or the other. So it was no problem that he walked out and that he got to his car on the outside, immediately out the door. So I thought to myself, there was no time wasted. This inconvenienced you for maybe 2 full minutes of your life. What are you complaining about? Why, when she was graciously giving you an apology, why could you, sir, not have graciously accepted it? And it made me sad. It really, truly did. Because this poor gal was clearly trying to give her very, very best in good customer service. And because she was not able to, and because she was not able to fix the situation and get everybody checked out ASAP, she felt like she was failing as a checkout person. You could tell she was so upset about this. And I said, well, you know what? I thought to myself, it's really no big deal. With all the things going on in this world and all the troubles and all of the things that you read about in the news and all these things, why on earth should we let having to wait an extra 60 seconds on a checkout with a more than gracious employee apologizing for the inconvenience, why on earth should we let that get the best of us? So I made a decision. I made a real serious decision yesterday, and that was this. I will never, ever, ever complain at a checkout. I try never to complain at a checkout. Instead, I take that time to just be grateful that we live in a country where you can go publicly and go into a store and buy whatever you want. There's no limitations. There's none of those things. I want to, not only do I want to give graciously to people, but I also would love to live a lifestyle of receiving graciously at the same time. Forgive me if I've ever grumbled and complained about these things, because I won't do that. After seeing other people do it, it's a light bulb going off that you definitely don't want to do the same. You know, that is a way that we learn a lot of lessons in this life, is by watching other people doing it the way that you never want to be able to say that you've done it that way. And then when it makes you stop and think about the times that you or I may have behaved that way, it's a really good lesson learner. So here's what I have to say to you today, boys and girls. Go be a blessing to somebody today. If somebody has been trying desperately to extend grace to you, you graciously receive it back. And if you are graciously giving to somebody and they're not receiving it, just, that's okay. What you need to do is not stop giving graciously, okay? Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeanne Sigler, Jeannesigler. Hit the subscribe button. And of course, do not forget, it's always important to tune in to WRMZ.org. Graciously listen to what we have for you today. Lunch break with Big Tom and Jeannie at 11 o'clock Central till 1 o'clock. And I hope you can tune in. Great music, great programming, great everything. And we've got some new stuff coming up at the weekend. So I'll tell you about that later on in the week. Okay, new exciting programming. All right, I love you all very much. And it's with grace that I leave you this morning. Receive it, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.